Imagine this tiny creature. Looks so fragile, right? But it makes this incredible journey, like 3,000 miles. It just seems impossible.
It really does. We're talking about the Monarch butterfly, of course, that epic trip from Canada and the U.S. down to Mexico.
Yeah, and here's the thing that really gets me. Its survival, this tiny butterfly, is actually tied right into what a community group is doing right here in New York City.
It's an amazing story, isn't it? It shows how, local actions can have this ripple effect, ecologically speaking, way beyond the city.
So that's what we're diving into today, the Inwood Butterfly Sanctuary and their project, Wings Without Borders.
Exactly. And it's more than just, saving pretty insects. It's a really deep story about environmental justice, about community health, especially for kids, and some really smart, innovative conservation that others could copy.
That's the plan. We want to unpack what makes this whole thing tick, why it's so important. We've looked at, well, a whole bunch of stuff, project plans, news stories, even some of their internal notes about the challenges they've run into.
Yeah, lots of material.
So we're going to pull out the key insights, the important bits, basically give you the shortcut to understanding this really inspiring work.
And I think to really get why the sanctuary's work matters so much, we kind of need to start with the problem they're tackling.
Right. The monarchs themselves.
Precisely. Because the monarch population, well, it's crashing. It's declined so steeply, they're actually endangered now.
Endangered, wow. And why? What's causing it?
It's mainly three big things. Losing their habitat, the places they live and breed. Then there's the huge amount of pesticides being used, which kills off their food. And, of course, climate change is messing everything up, too.
Okay, so it's a tough situation. But, maybe someone listening thinks, okay, sad for the butterfly, but why is it a big deal for us?
That's a fair question. And the answer is monarchs are what scientists call an indicator species.
Like the canary in the coal mine.
Exactly like that. Their decline is like a big flashing warning light for the environment. It tells us something's out of balance. And those same problems, habitat loss, pesticides, climate instability, eventually they affect us too, our health, our resources.
Huh. I hadn't thought of it quite like that. An indicator.
And there's more. They're pollinators. Really important ones. They help lots of plants reproduce, which keeps whole ecosystems stable. And, ultimately that connects to our food supply. So their struggle isn't separate from us. It's tied into the health of the planet we all share. Biodiversity loss is a huge threat.
Okay, that makes the sanctuary's work feel even more urgent then.
It really does. Their
Yeah.
core mission is all about protecting monarchs,
Yeah.
but specifically helping boost their numbers and keeping those amazing migration routes going. Those routes connect communities not just across the U.S., but all the way from Canada down to Mexico. It crosses borders, cultures.
Hence the name, Wings Without Borders.
Exactly. And their method is very hands-on, very
Yeah.
involved. Over the year, they raise hundreds of butterflies.
Hundreds, wow.
Yeah. And they release them right when it's time for that big migration south. It's apparently actually very exciting to witness. It's like proof their work is paying off.
So how do they do it? What's the secret sauce?
Well, a big part is the plants. They focus intensely on native milkweed species. You hear them mention specific types like Asclepias syriaca, Incarnata, tuberosa,
Those are the ones that caterpillars have to eat, right?
the only thing they eat. And these are native varieties, so they're suited to the local conditions, even in the city. And then for the adult butterflies, they plant lots of nectar-rich flowers, things like helianthus, sunflowers and asters. That's the fuel they need for the long journey.
Got it. So the right food at the right time.
Precisely.
Okay, so we understand the butterfly's plight, the need for milkweed. Let's talk more about Wings Without Borders itself, that specific project.
Right, so this is the sanctuary's main initiative. The core idea is to build up this network of monarch way stations, like safe havens, all across New York City.
A network, okay?
Yeah.
Not just one garter.
No, a network. And they're specifically focusing on environmental justice areas.
Explain that a bit more. What defines an environmental justice area?
These are usually lower-income neighborhoods, often communities of color, that historically have gotten, well, the short end of the stick environmentally. More pollution, fewer parks, less access to nature. So the project aims to bring these butterfly habitats, this natural beauty, right into those areas.
So it's conservation and social equity.
Exactly. It's deeply intertwined. And it really depends on the community pitching in. They call it community-driven conservation sustained through public-private partnerships.
Who are some of the partners?
Oh, lots of local groups. Schools are key. Dos Amigos Elementary, Good Shepherd School, School in the Square up near Broadway and Sherman.
Makes sense getting kids involved early.
Definitely. And they also work with bigger organizations like the New York Restoration Project, NYRP, and Partnerships for Parks, Friends of Inwood Hill Park, even local churches. It's about building a really broad base of support.
And how does the community actually participate? Is it just planting?
Oh, it's much more than that. People get really involved. Students, residents, they help release the butterflies, which must be amazing to see. I bet they volunteer in the gardens, obviously. But they also do citizen science. That means going out, surveying the habitats, counting monarch eggs and caterpillars, checking the milkweed plants. They even tag butterflies to help scientists track the migration.
Wow. So people become real stewards, real data collectors.
Exactly. Gives
Yeah.
them ownership, and knowledge about their own local environment.
That's powerful. Are there specific examples of these community projects?
Yeah, they've done some really cool things like creating pollinator pathways, basically connecting green spaces like Inwood Hill Park and Isham Park through plantings in street tree beds.
Mhm.
So the butterflies have corridors to travel through the city.
Turning sidewalks into flyways, sort of?
Kind of. And another really clever thing is their Save Our Street Trees campaign.
Right.
They take old, discarded fence posts that would just be trash, and they upcycle them into really sturdy, nice-looking guards to protect young street trees. So it's waste reduction, protecting urban trees, and making neighborhoods greener, especially in those underserved areas.
That's brilliant. Using waste to protect nature.
It really is. And all these activities tie into their core philosophy, which they call We Grow Life.
We grow life. Tell me about that.
It's this idea that they're not just, putting plants in the ground. They emphasize we are growing living creatures, we are growing life itself. It's about seeing the connection that human well-being and community growth are linked to the health of the nature around us.
So it's a whole worldview, really.
It is, and they weave this right into their educational programs. Wings Without Borders is actually the first pilot project for this whole We Grow Life model. They're proving it works.
And you mentioned earlier this is a replicable model. What makes it something others could copy?
Well, I think it's because it's not about needing huge tracts of land or millions of dollars. They use existing spaces, schoolyards, park edges, those street tree beds. It relies a lot on community partnerships and volunteer energy.
It's adaptable.
Very adaptable. It shows how lots of smaller efforts connected together can create something really significant ecologically. Other communities, even with limited resources, could definitely take this blueprint and run with it.
Okay, let's shift focus a bit to the people involved, especially the kids. You said it connects to their psychological well-being.
Yes, absolutely. The project makes a direct link between saving monarchs and community well-being, especially children's psychological health.
Yeah.
It goes beyond just the science.
How does that work in practice?
Through that hands-on nature learning. It's incredibly powerful for kids. Imagine being a young student and you actually get to experience the miracle of metamorphosis. You watch a butterfly emerge right in front of you.
The oohs and ahs moment.
Exactly, those moments. They foster this deep empathy for nature, which the sanctuary believes leads directly to environmental stewardship. It becomes personal, something you care about because you've seen it, touched it almost.
It makes sense. There's that saying they use, right? If you can't see it, if you can't appreciate it, you can't truly love it.
Precisely. And if you can't love something, you don't have a real reason to protect it.
Yeah.
Especially in cities where kids might not get many chances to connect with nature. These firsthand experiences are crucial. It builds understanding, responsibility.
It makes them stewards now, not just in the future.
Yes. They see kids not just as future leaders, but as capable actors and creators who can contribute to nature stewardship right now.
And this ties back to the environmental justice angle, too.
Absolutely, because remember, those environmental justice areas often lack green spaces. They're disproportionately hit by pollution.
Right.
So the sanctuary is consciously bringing environmental justice and natural beauty to New York City's least green neighborhoods. They're creating green spaces and nature access where it's needed most desperately.
Is there a concrete example of that?
Yeah, they got, I think it was a $500 grant from the NYC Parks Department, and they used it to create a specific children's butterfly garden right in Isham Park.
Okay.
And it's located strategically right across from Dos Amigos and Good Shepherd schools. So it's not just a garden, it's an outdoor classroom designed for their nature learning programs, bringing those vital experiences right to the kids who need them.
That's really thoughtful planning. But it hasn't all been smooth sailing, has it? You mentioned challenges.
No, definitely not. Like a lot of groups doing important work, they've faced some serious pushback. They describe dealing with stressful adversity, specifically a cyberbully attack by animal rights extremists and internet trolls.
Really? Over butterflies, what was the issue?
These groups oppose butterfly rearing in general. But they didn't just disagree, they went further. They filed false reports against the sanctuary, claiming things like impersonation and animal abuse.
Wow, that's serious. What happened?
It led to their posts getting taken down, even their whole Facebook page being suspended for a while. It was a real attempt to silence them.
Based on what? What was the justification?
The critics used what the sanctuary calls flawed fake science justifications. The main claim was that butterflies raised in captivity somehow lose their ability to migrate.
Is there any truth to that?
The sanctuary is very clear. That claim has not only been disproven, but is not practiced by them. Their methods are designed to avoid that exact issue.
How so? What do they do?
They emphasize their methods are highly successful, innovative, and labor-intensive, but also natural, autonomous. The caterpillars are raised outdoors on living plants. They get all the natural light. The temperature changes everything needed for healthy development.
So they're not in, like, sterile lab conditions?
Not at all. The only thing the sanctuary does is protect them from predators, ants, wasps, things that would normally eat almost all the eggs and caterpillars in the wild. Like 99.9% wouldn't make it. They're just giving them a safe start, not messing with their instincts.
Okay, that makes sense. So how did they fight back against the censorship online?
They were actually really clever. They launched this campaign, the Censorship Challenge hashtag. They asked supporters to share screenshots showing their website was blocked and to manually type in the URL to get around it.
Spreading awareness that way.
Yeah. And get this, they fought fire with fire. They started using Meta's own AI tools, like the Help Me Write and Imagine features on Facebook, to generate content about the sanctuary that somehow got past the automated blocking systems. It was a way to keep posting and highlight the flaws in Facebook's AI censorship. Pretty ingenious, really.
Wow, turning the tables using the platform's own tool. That's impressive. But beyond the online stuff, there are other hurdles, right? Funding, operations.
Oh, absolutely. Those are ongoing challenges. To really grow and be sustainable, they need more structure. They're actively looking for administrative help so they can become a proper nonprofit, a 501c3.
Which would help with fundraising, presumably.
Hugely. It opens the door for tax-deductible donations, grants. It's crucial for long-term stability. Because right now, the financial side is tough.
How so?
Well, think about the sheer cost of it all. The volunteers, who are incredibly dedicated, they've personally put in thousands of dollars for plants, soil, mulch, all the gardening basics.
Out of their own pockets.
Yes. And then there are all the many hidden costs, paying for storage space for equipment, the special enclosures for raising monarchs, internet access for research and outreach, basic supplies. It all adds up. It's a constant need.
So they need to recover those costs and find ongoing funding.
Exactly. They've applied for grants, like from the NYC Parks Foundation, didn't get it first time around, which is common. They got provisional approval for another program, NYRP's Gardens for the City, but ended up on the wait list. So, you know, the need is definitely there.
Despite all that, though, they have gotten some serious recognition, haven't they?
They really have, which is fantastic. That Wings Without Borders project, it was a finalist in the 4th Annual Anthem Awards.
In the Anthem Awards, okay.
Yeah, in the Sustainability, Environment, and Climate category for local community engagement. And that was out of over 200 submissions from 34 countries. So that's major validation on an international level.
That's huge. And they've gotten media attention, too.
Quite a bit, yeah. Featured as New Yorker of the Week on NY1, which is great local recognition. They were in a PBS documentary called Dynamic Planet, also WNYC Morning Edition, ADC7 here in New York. Even NHK, the Japanese public broadcaster.
Wow, international news, too.
Plus, local papers like the Riverdale Press and Manhattan Times. And they have this petition trying to preserve monarch habitat up in northern Manhattan that's got over 25,000 signatures.
So the word is definitely getting out. It shows incredible resilience, doesn't it?
It really does. When you pull it all together, you've got the vital work saving monarchs, this amazing community involvement, the impact on kids' learning and empathy. It's just a powerful example of how to do urban environmentalism right, even when things get tough.
Yeah, it feels like Wings Without Borders really connects the dots. Conservation, community, education.
Exactly. And it reminds us how these local efforts, focused on one species like the monarch, really do contribute to the bigger picture of global environmental health. That butterfly becomes a symbol, a link to our shared future.
So let's leave our listeners with something to think about.
Okay, consider this. When a community learns to care for, to really foster empathy for, something as small as a butterfly, how does that local action become a kind of blueprint, a model for tackling much bigger global environmental problems?
Hmm. And what does this story, with its mix of nature conservation and, well, digital challenges, what does it teach us about human resilience? About what we can achieve together, both in the physical world and, navigating the complexities of our online lives?